as a polecat at a perfume convention, has taken over the Maritimes. And he's even crossed over into Newfoundland, creating havoc and controversy. Where it turns out, we're not talking about the cute little guy who howls at the moon in movies. He's slyer than a fox, faster than a rabbit, and every bit as fierce as the grizzly bear. An expert but indiscriminate hunter, he would just as soon take a farmer's sheep as a white-tailed deer. Here in Elbert County, all hands agree the coyote is a major irritant, but they agree on little else, not even his name. To some, he's a coyote, to others, he's a coyote. But as Neil Stairs reports, whatever they call him, what's his name is a public nuisance, and he's creating a rift within the community.
We have new neighbors in Atlantic Canada. They make a bit of a racket at night, but we rarely see them. We know they've been. Every clear winter's morning, we can trace the path of their nocturnal hell-raising, right through our private property, without a by-your-leave. Trespassers, up to no good. They're from away, and many of us wish they'd stayed there. Coyotes, or coyotes if you prefer. Many people prefer them this way, dead. We didn't invite these critters here. They belong out west where they came from. Just who the heck do they think they are?
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Wile E. Coyote. Genius.
For many Atlantic Canadians, this is as close as we've come to the coyote, the Hollywood version, a superstar from the Warner Brothers stable, a diabolically resourceful anti-hero with an insatiable lust for lunch. But smart as the coyote is in fiction, it never seems to catch its prey. It always ends up the loser. That's not the way it happens in the Maritimes. This is all that's left of a 180-pound ewe about to lamb. Coyotes reduced her to this in about 20 minutes, and that was on a guarded farm. This is all that's left of a white-tailed deer, almost surgically devoured by the coyote, and it's happening again and again. And frankly, our species doesn't like it much. Farmers can put up fences or use dogs or even donkeys to protect their livestock, and pet owners can make sure that their loved ones stay close to home. It's out in the wild that the coyote has free rein. We can't protect wild animals, not deer, and yet we expect them to be there for us when we want them. New Brunswick has the highest per capita rate of hunters in the country. Deer are considered to be a God-given right, and the coyote is competing for that right. So we've declared war on the coyote, and if there's a front line anywhere in the Maritimes, it's here in southeast New Brunswick, on the Sheppardy Marsh of Elbert County.
Like ever since they seem to moved in or whatever, like the deer have just got less and less and less, and rabbits, everything.
And so Jeff Elderkin and about 15 others are doing this. Presumably sated with deer and rabbit, coyotes venture onto the marsh after geese or rodents. Snowmobile hunters are waiting for them, and this controversial dance of death begins. Controversial for those who hate what they see being played out on the Sheppardy Marsh. John Inman lives here too, and he watches the snowmobiles every day from his backyard.
If you're capable of hunting, I think the least you could do is walk 100 yards before you begin. And that gives, your prey a chance, and that's what it's all about.
But the snowmobile hunters say that's not what it's about. They say it's about pest control, and they can't understand what John Inman is so upset about.
I'm interested in hunting myself, but I don't know about the use of the snowmobile. And then when I started to watch and see that they weren't even getting off the snow machines and using 2 or 3 to chase the coyote, then I really started to complain.
To this man, Moncton journalist Jim Foster.
Just after New Year's, we started getting calls in the newsroom. People who lived along the Sheppardy Marsh quite concerned. At first, we just directed them towards the Department of Natural Resources.
The Department of Natural Resources sent its people down to Elbert County. But here, in one of the most economically depressed parts of the province, they could find no law broken.
So we decided to do a story on it. The first step we took was to call the game wardens and to see if indeed they had received calls. And much to our astonishment, they had received many calls.
But the game wardens can't prosecute snowmobile hunters for what some people consider to be unsporting conduct. It's illegal to carry a loaded weapon on a snow machine, and it's illegal to shoot from a snowmobile. But if the hunter stops his machine, loads his gun, and fires, then there's no law broken. And Jeff Elderkin out there on the marsh says that's exactly how it's done. He says he was surprised when he found out the newspaper was even interested.
Yeah, I was, because I didn't, well, for us or whatever, because I didn't think we were doing nothing wrong.
Foster wrote that efforts by some to eliminate the predators are going too far. So apparently had he, in the eyes of many of his readers.
The response was quite amazing. I spent the better part of a day fielding phone calls from outraged residents of the area, but they were outraged that I would dare say anything critical about this practice. They were 100%. We didn't receive one call siding with these coyotes.
Like 95% of the people around here, like they don't say nothing to us, or they're in favor of what we're doing. Or especially like the deer hunters and that. There's a fellow that just, his little house down there, like he thanked us last Thursday for going out and getting them and that, just because they've been chasing his cats and stuff like that. And
one chap offered to pay the gasoline for these snowmobilers. It was his contention that any police officer or game warden who didn't run over a coyote, say, that crossed in front of his vehicle, should be charged with aiding and abetting the cruelty to an animal. His logic was that the coyote is a cruel, cruel killer who kills for the sake of killing and enjoys watching suffering.
But John Inman doesn't buy any of it.
How he can chase an animal, cut it off from any chance of escape, and like I say, when there's 2 or 3 machines involved, I can't see how that is any kind of a sport or hunting. I think, to me, it's just a slaughter.
I don't see no harm in it or nothing. Like people go in hunting deer, they take ATCs or 4-wheelers and go way back in the back country or whatever. Like that's still harassing game too, like if they want to look at it like that.
I've been invited to go down by both, one of the hunters has invited me down, and one of the persons who oppose that type of hunting. Both are convinced that the public is going to be supportive of their position.
John Inman's house in Harvey overlooks the Shepparton Marsh and beyond it to Riverside, Albert, where Jeff Elderkin lives. But the relationship between them is not neighborly, not since Inman launched his protest about the snowmobile hunt and involved the newspaper man from Moncton.
Nobody's come right out and told me, but I get, the word passes around that I should mind my own business. It's not really going on, and because it's the coyote, it's acceptable, and I can't see that at all.
Others in this community share John Inman's views, although most are reluctant to express them so publicly. Riverside, Albert is a town divided. Some even say that what the coyote has done to people's minds here is much worse than it could ever do to the deer population.
A lot of these chaps, even when they're hunting from their vehicles, and there was no problem. I used to drive by, they would wave, I'd wave back, say hi or whatever. But since I voiced a complaint, that's it. And it's sad.
One particular gentleman that lives over in Harvey and that, he used to wave to me and stuff before and that, and he doesn't no more, and I mean, that's fine and dandy, but I mean, I've never said nothing to him or anything, or if he wants to be that way, that's all right.
The kids have been hassled, the wife has been called names, but I guess maybe that's part of it, but if you don't complain about something like this, it's going to carry on, and I mean, these individuals are giving this town a real bad name.
True to his word, the Times transcript's Jim Foster has left Moncton to witness for himself the activities of Albert County and write another story. In one way, the fate of this town's name, good or bad, rests in his hands.
How's it going, Jim?
Good to meet you, Jeff.
How you doing, Jim?
Thanks for inviting me.
One fact for Jim Foster's story. Jeff Elderkin and his friends believe that the deer herd in this part of New Brunswick has been decimated. Another fact, they blame the coyote. This is how they deal with coyotes here.
We got him!
That shot has killed the animal. It runs on, but its last wound has been fatal. The coyote dies in the ravine ahead.
Yeah.
From start to finish, this hunt has taken only 6 minutes. 6 minutes well spent exterminating a dangerous super predator,
Yeah.
or 6 minutes of artless cruelty.
Eric, you can come get him. Ah. Ah. I don't know if I can throw him across to Eric or not.
Yeah, I've got nothing wrong with somebody going out there and stalking it, using a call, whatever method. And good luck to them, but this, I just can't stomach it.
So you figure people are calling all upset over you getting this fellow this morning, eh?
Oh, there'll definitely be some calls into the wardens and that.
There's an argument out there that says it's not sporting to use a snowmobile to hunt coyotes. You should get out there on your feet, they say, and get your coyote call. And
Well, in a way, we're not really doing it for sport. Like, we're trying to give the deer a chance in that. Any of the ones that we get, like, there's no money involved for us in that, but there's a fellow that we give them to. Like, sometimes he'll trade us for shotgun shells or something like that, just a few, but we usually just give them to him. We don't leave them out there. Let me hold them.
Another way to hunt the coyote, and why the government isn't all over this controversial issue, when Land and Sea continues.
We couldn't call ourselves experts if we didn't have Adidas equipment for customers like Michael Smith.
I'm one.
I'm one.
I'm definitely one.
I am too.
I used to be one, but now I'm 3.
New Alberto Plus shampoo and conditioner in one has 3 unique levels of conditioning. 1 for light, 2 for regular, and 3 for extra. New Alberto Plus shampoo and conditioner in one.
What number are you?
Hi, mind if we tie up?
Sure, go right ahead.
You guys are hauling your garbage? We just toss it over.
Well, we used to, but trash, especially plastic, kills fish.
We don't toss anything over now, huh, Granddad?
Fishermen are changing their habits. We can see the results, but they can't do it alone. The world's fishing industry contributes only 5% of garbage in the oceans.
I guess it makes good sense to bring it ashore.
A message from Maritime Fishermen's Union.
Want to win a great new car? Well, all new Auto Plus lotteries arrived with new supercars. Wouldn't winning an Eagle Talon be super? Or Ford Flairside. Win a Mazda Presidia. Or win really supercars like a luxurious Cherokee, hot Nissan, or sensational Cadillac. So hurry, play new supercars from Auto Plus Lottery. Supercars, super win. Psst, want to win a great new car?
We couldn't call ourselves experts if we didn't have the superb fitting Reebok pump.
It's swift justice for coyotes in Elbert County. Extermination, nothing more. But there is another method.
If a fellow was a professional caller or something like that, you probably could call the odd one in, but after a while, like, I've talked to a few fellas and that, and they say, like, they'll only do it once or twice, and then they won't come in, so.
Meet the man who's bagged more coyotes than all of Elbert County and then some. Meet the ultimate professional caller, Carl Kilewine.
I find out when I call them, I had much more success with them. And it's the best what I ever had. I ate coyotes in one day.
Pretending to be a dying rabbit is one of the keys to Carl Kilewine's ability to take 8 coyotes in one day. He sets himself up as bait, using the scent of the rabbit and its call to lure a hungry coyote to him. It's a technique he's keen to pass on.
as you all know, we have a coyote problem right now in New Brunswick. And my goals are to get as much hunter as possible. I'm talking about sports hunters involved in coyote hunting. And I see...
Carl Kylewine conducts seminars in coyote calling across the Maritimes. 2,000 prospective hunters and even forest rangers have been taught how to impersonate everything from a wounded snowshoe hare to a white-tailed deer in heat. It's this former German policeman's way. Call the coyote to you. Don't chase it by snowmobile.
It's good for our native wildlife. It's not right to drive above an animal and kill him this way. But for my opinion, it's pure frustration and nothing else.
As a coyote hunter, Carl Kylewine has no match and no snowmobile. His technique is simple. Outsmart the critter and blend into your surroundings.
Picture one thing, you look at now me. I'm not the beautiful looking guys, but what I want to demonstrate there, look at me, how bright it's getting in there. Already, only, now picture me out in the woods, shiny like this, a little bit sun, but she likes the moon in the woods, full moon in the woods. And I want to see this animal, you know, who want to come in. That's why you have to wear camouflage.
To the unenlightened human observer, Kylewine's efforts to look like a snowy tree may resemble a ritual from a bizarre cult. But to the coyotes out there, and they are watching, an animal in trouble in front of a snowy tree spells supper.
I use my bipod to get them on. Put my gun in this thing. You know, I don't have to spread it out in the woods, my legs like this. You know, it's only this thing, it's slippery. And there I hold it, and then I call.
Kylewine makes his callers at home in his garage workshop. For years, he studied and taped the noises made by a variety of animals in a variety of circumstances. This simple piece of plastic can reproduce them all. With a little practice and Kylewine's woodland songbook, anyone can master the technique, he says, and all for a mere $15.
A doe bleed.
Kylewine has spent 16 years studying his adversary, and the more he's learned about the creature, the more convinced he's become that our species doesn't understand its species at all.
Original coyote has a maximum weight from 26 pounds. Now, what we're dealing in New Brunswick, it's an animal up. The biggest shot about 3 weeks ago between up there by Edmundston, 74 pounds. Now, a 74-pound coyote, we'll name him coyote, you know, and a 26-pound coyote, you know, it's a big difference. It would be the same if I would say to you people, look, a little chihuahua, you know, a little sucker like this, and a pit bull are the same animals, only why we give them a name dog. You see, everybody would say, are you sick? You see, that's two different kind of animals.
This is a western coyote pelt I received from Alberta. It's one of their...
Rod Cumberland is a New Brunswick government biologist and its coyote expert. Yes, the maritime coyote is bigger, he says, but it's still a coyote.
From the genetic work that's been done, it appears that as the western coyote was expanding across North America, it interbred with the timber wolf, and some of those genes it has carried along with it.
This animal, it's, for my opinion, much, much more denser.
Paul Burgoyne of the New Brunswick Wildlife Federation agrees. He says this overgrown coyote is chomping its way through the deer population with what amounts to the blessing of the provincial government.
Right now, the situation the way it is, we have a drastic situation, and drastic situations require drastic measures.
You see, they always say, you know, in the province, it's not this bad. You know, it's because of a bad winter, you know, over there, and we're always looking for excuses.
Jerry Redmond is in charge of the province's Fish and Wildlife Department.
There's no question that the coyote is here, and it's here to stay, and we're going to have to live with some of the changes that might occur to wildlife populations in this province. But as far as it being a crisis or it being a super problem that we have to focus all our energies on, I don't believe so.
In 1984 or 85, we brought resolutions to this government regarding the coyote problem. Ever since that, nothing has happened. The result, we've lost 80% of deer herd in northern New Brunswick. We've lost 60% in central New Brunswick, and it's spreading towards the southern part of the province.
I was even talking with forest rangers down there, and they say, Carl, you wouldn't believe it, what we have for problems down there, you know, and even when the forest rangers say it to you, you hear this very seldom, you know, from government employees, you know, we have a problem.
What's happening at the government level is that we have two stories. You have the stories from the biologists that are out in the field who document and say, we have a coyote problem, and you have the version of the biologists here at the Fish and Wildlife Branch who say that it's a minor problem, and they don't really identify it as a problem. And they go as far as muzzling the field staff.
There's been a lot of conflicting reports and evidence, both from our staff and from the public and so forth. And it was decided about a year ago to try to bring the best people that have knowledge about the coyotes and their impacts on white-tailed deer together in a symposium or workshop here in New Brunswick. And that happened last fall.
The coyote has been here for 30 years. What have they been doing for the past 30 years? I think that we have to address it. We've been clear-cutting in New Brunswick and concentrating the deer in small areas for the past 30 years. And we've created, with our logging practices, an unnatural forest. And man has to intervene.
If man were to intervene, beyond chasing the coyote on snowmobiles or luring it into the sights of a rifle, then biologist Rod Cumberland would be the specialist commissioned by his government to come up with a plan.
If you were told tomorrow that you were to develop a coyote control program, all I'm asking you is really, what are the options? If people were going for the coyote, what kinds of methods would you use?
There's many different methods of coyote control, and the symposium that we had here last fall really shed a lot of light on the extent that we can control the animal, and that extent is very, very limited. The chances of going out there on a wide scale and controlling your coyote numbers is virtually impossible to do, and it's never been done anywhere where the coyote has existed yet.
On the Sheppardy Marsh, one small step for those who call for action, and possibly one more wedge in a divided community.
I pretty much saw what I expected to see. They say there's two sides to every story. Well, there's 25 sides to this story, but to chase animals on motorized machines, the ethical question is there.
You guys look straight ahead as if you're bombing around.
Once again, Albert County has made the headlines.
Let's get some of this guy. Geez, they got a nice coat, eh?
Yeah.
Jim Foster's news story draws no conclusions. There's more detail than in his first report, which brought this controversy into the public eye. He refers to the split it has created in the community, but it leaves readers to decide for themselves whether what happens here is acceptable or not. And Carl Kylwine's audience must decide for themselves whether or not they buy into his plan for coyote control.
It's really, really good if people go out hunting and shoot as much as possible. Then one is for sure, we can't wipe out coyotes anymore. That's a fact. When the coyotes occupy an area, they be there for good. Or more questions? I think that's it. Thank you very much.
The coyote in itself will limit its numbers. Coyotes are very territorial. They have home ranges of roughly 40 square kilometers in New Brunswick, and that will also limit their numbers and their rate of expansion as well. So if their population is suppressed, and this has been shown across the entire North America, the more you suppress their population, the more they can rebound.
Perhaps Hollywood had it right all along. The Warner Brothers coyote endures the most gruesome punishments. but it always comes back for more. It simply dusts itself off and keeps on trucking, right into the heart of Atlantic Canada.
Well, tonight I'm a Braves fan. Divided loyalties, but they shall play it, and he has come.
The people in Atlanta, too, Rob, are saying